Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's VinPF, and on today's episode we're going to be covering another English whiskey. This one is by the actual St George's distillery, call themselves The English. I haven't covered many of them on the channel, but I have covered the original and the smoky in my time, so you can go and check them out if you're interested in the standard core releases. This one's a little bit different, a little bit special, but we'll get into that in a moment. I actually came by this bottle as part of my Summerton Club membership, which delivers me a single bottle of whiskey every 2 months for £50. I don't get to pick those bottles, they just arrive as what they are. So far, I've been a member for a bit over a year now, I think, and I've been quite impressed with every single bottle that they've sent me. So if you're interested in that, if you're in the UK or maybe even a bit further abroad, you can go and check that out in the links in the description below. Back to this whiskey then. The English whiskey, or the St George's distillery, they've been going the longest in England so far, so they've been around a while now. As I mentioned earlier, I've covered a few of their offerings so far, so it's really nice to get something else from theirs. I don't think I would have reached out to grab this immediately, because this is a brand new release. It was released last week, I think. I got this as part of the October deliveries for Summerton, so I've had it for a couple of weeks now, but as you might notice down here, I like to spend a bit of time with these things before I do my reviews. I don't like to review them straight off of the bottle pour. It's not very indicative of the final flavour, I think. In any case, what we have here today is one of their small batch releases. So these tend to be a little bit more pricey than the standard releases, but not too much more. The standards go for about sort of £35. This is about £55, £56 if you can get hold of it now. Obviously, I got this for £50 as part of the Summerton Club, which is pretty cool. They even managed to get it out to us a handful of days before the actual release, which is also pretty cool. The thing that makes this one interesting is this is a Cabernet Sauvignon finished whiskey. Now, their website has some varying information on there, and this has spent some time in some ex-bourbon barrels, some virgin oak casks, and some ex-red wine casks, Cabernet Sauvignon casks. Not sure about the amount of years or time that's spent in either of those things, but we do know in here that the date filled is November 2014 and the date bottled is August 2020. So a little under 6 years, 5 years let's say. Key bit of information as well is there's only 1,507 bottles of this available. And last time I checked the English website there was 88 available, but time of recording, this is going to be a couple of days before it actually goes live, so it might have changed. If you're interested at all, I implore you to go and check it out. But let's get into the actual tasting and see what we've got in the glass, find out if it's really worth it. Hidden behind here in the No Nonsense Whiskey glass, of course. So we don't know anything about colour or chill filtration. I'm going to assume that it has no added colour and it is not chill filtered, but I don't know that for a fact. It's not on the label, I don't believe. In any case, let's get on to the nose. Now for me, it's a whole heap of baked apples up front. Loads of cinnamon as well. It really is like a kind of like a baked apple crumble. Really nice kind of sugary elements to it as well. Nice and sweet. Not sickly sweet, just enough sweet. Let's try on the palate. Okay, so at the start, you're getting more of those flavours come across from the nose. Very quickly though, overtaken by this kind of big peppery, spicy palate, which I really enjoy. I enjoy that kind of thing. It's quite big and bold flavours. It's only a 46%er. It feels like it would be a higher ABV. Let's have another sip. Now for me, the finish is kind of medium long, very peppery, and a little drying, I would say, but not in a kind of negative way. It's just a tasty note that comes across sometimes. Sometimes whiskies are a little bit drying. Now, weirdly, I'm not a kind of big purveyor of ex-wine cask finished stuff, and I don't think if this was in a kind of blind tasting or I didn't know that it was Cabernet Sauvignon, I'm not picking up too many of those kind of wine elements there. But there is definitely something interesting about it that would make me start to question that this is not a kind of standard release whiskey, that's for sure. But I don't think I'd be able to pick it out at all. I'd be sitting there just flummoxed until someone told me that this was a ex-red wine cask influence. I think it's an interesting whiskey and doing something a little bit different than what we expect from the kind of norm around these areas, and definitely worth your time if you're even remotely interested in English whiskey.